Hi everyone, Jason here from Off the Beaten Path, and we find ourselves in Adelaide today. We hadn't planned to come here, but we did, and we're at Offline Campers, as you can see. These guys are an Aussie manufacturing company based here on the north side of Adelaide, making a really cool range of Aussie designed and built campers. Now this Domino here is something like you've never seen before. You've seen a rear fold, you've seen a hybrid, you've seen a pod camper. This is like all three of those wrapped in together. So it's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. I saw a couple of short videos on this before we headed off on this trip, and as luck would have it, we've had the opportunity to come here, and Sam from Offline Campers has given us a full walkthrough on this camper. They start from around mid-60s, and they've got a standard options list that you can sort of option it up from there, but even the base model is quite amazing. So the really cool thing with these is these doors here at the back open, which you'll see in a minute, and that's what they call travel mode. So you can literally open those doors, 20 seconds, you're inside the camper and you're good to go. You'll see around the side here, you've got this traditional kitchen and all those sorts of things. For me, what I love about this camper is it's super compact. It has heaps of storage. They've literally thought about maximising the storage. There's internally and externally accessible storage. There's an integrated, ready plumbed gas and water system built into the camper from day one. They utilise the Submarine battery management system, which is one of the leading battery systems on the market for managing. You can link that up to your app on your smartphone and you can control it. It's got an integrated Webasto diesel-powered water heater and space heater, so you can heat the inside of this van. It's really compact, and as you can tell from the rake design at the rear here, it has a really good departure angle as well. Total weight is around the 1.5 tons tear weight. So it's around 2 tons, under 2 tons by the time you put your gear in there, assuming a reasonable amount of gear. So really well built. So I'll take you through the walkthrough video. These guys are based in Adelaide. They're making them here in Adelaide. At the moment, like everybody, they're super busy and they're booked out till March next year. But if this is something that interests you, I recommend you get in touch with Sam and the guys here. Just for clarity, guys, this is not a paid video, this is not a sponsored video. These guys didn't ask us to come here, they're not paying us to say anything particular about this camper. So this is just something that we're doing ourselves. My wife and I were actually looking at these prior to coming on this trip, so that's why we're here. It's because it's something that I was personally interested in, and let me tell you, everything I've seen today, this thing has absolutely delivered and lived up to my expectations. It's a bit noisy because their factory's just on the other side of this wall here, and they're literally making more of these things as we speak. So enjoy the video, guys. Put some comments down below. I dare say Sam and the guys from Offline Campers will keep an eye on this video, and they might even chime in with some responses. Really cool stuff. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and enjoy the video.
Yeah. And so things like, because we've got 3 kids, and so I wasn't happy with trailers that had like 75 litre fridges, so it's got like the 95 litre fridge freezer in there.
That's awesome, you need that. Nice solid slide too.
Yes, our slide, well, obviously you buy the slides, but like the trays out. More storage up here. You can access this from inside as well.
Okay, cool.
And so there's a drawer on the other side, same. So you can access all of this. But we put like pots and pans in there. You might put like chocolate or a midnight snack in there. Other side you might put like laptops or a book or something like that. But you might want to access from outside or inside.
Yeah, cool.
So pantry. There's some really nice little carpet covered boxes that come from Kmart that fit in here like spot on. So they're like
Always fortunate.
$5 for the set, and so yeah, we often like, I've got a big box of them, so we give customers them sometimes.
Yeah, nice.
Just to sort of segregate your stuff. So
yep. Very nice.
Yeah, like cutlery, utensils, and then another drawer here, put like plates, bowls, cups, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, very cool. Yep.
More storage here. We put like paper towel, hand wash, that sort of stuff that you're going to need often.
The gas is pre-plumbed?
Yeah. The water lines all pre-plumbed, yeah.
So you don't just...
No plugging anything in. So there's like a gas valve in there for compliance.
Yep.
But yeah, it's all pre-plugged in.
So you should be turning that on and off when you're using it and not using it. But...
Well, it's more for safety. So like generally when you're traveling, you turn it off with a gas bottle.
Sure.
Yes, hot and cold water plumbed. We use the Submarine. We use like all Energize gear as standard through the trailer.
Sure.
And then we use the Submarine screen, so we can track like what each, like how much power is being used off the batteries, how much solar is coming in, how much the fridge is using at any one time. Water tanks, they have a float in the tank, so if you fill up a 1 litre drink bottle, you'll see that you've taken a litre out of the tank.
Yeah, right. Cool.
So it's not just like a lot of trailers just have quarters.
Yes.
And so you fill up a 1 litre drink bottle and then it goes down to a quarter, so you like lost a quarter of your tank in one drink bottle.
Yep.
Just little lights and that. And then we have like hot water system temperature and air temperature under the bed.
Yeah, nice.
You can hook into this with your phone as well, so you can lay in bed and you can track all of this stuff on your phone.
Yep.
You can wake up in the morning, do I have enough water for a shower? Do I, how hot's the hot water system? If I turn it on, how long till it's hot? All that sort of stuff. So
very cool. And plenty of 12 volts there as well.
Yeah. So like as standard, just like 12 volt sockets and USBs for charging. So all our lighting is like all integrated, but it does white and orange, all three.
Yeah, nice.
And that's just standard.
Switches are all set up.
All set up. You just open it out and off you go.
Orange, white, or off.
That's right.
Sweet.
A cool little thing that's just us is we do a thing called a camp light, which is like underneath the kitchen facing straight down.
Okay.
So like on a moonless night, it just creates a bit of a glow around the trailer. So you can see it's just doing a little bit under there.
Yes.
So like right now it feels like it's doing nothing, but when it's like pitch black outside, and there's just enough. It's just enough that you can go to the toilet, come back, and still see the trailer without turning all the lights on and wake yourself fully up.
Yep.
So, and then controls for like water pumps, isolation switch for all the lighting in the whole trailer, and all the sockets so you can turn them off while you're driving.
Yep. And then obviously the bench just folds over and the whole thing slides away.
Yeah, that's right.
Very neat.
Around here, there's an extra little additional bench. This is really good for like when you first get to camp and you open a beer and you don't know where to put it and you're trying to work out where you're going to set up your camp. You've got somewhere to put it straight away.
Excellent.
I get sick of like knocking my beer over and just sit it on like the end of a tree log or something like that, and you knock it over. So it's drinking water tap, 240 outlet.
So again, if it's just a quick stop, you don't have to pull the whole kitchen out and get drinking water.
That's right.
You can just pull up on the side of the road, pop that open.
Yeah.
You got somewhere to put your glass when you actually fill it, or your drink bottle, or whatever
exactly
it might be.
right.
And you got 240 right there as well.
I often use this for when there's like the kids have left stuff all over here and you need to make dinner. So you can just like move it to there and then they can worry about it in a few minutes time, but you can get started straight away.
Nice.
So all our trailers are standard, have like high lift compatible jacking points. There's also a spot underneath for a normal bottle jack on the suspension.
Yep.
Wheels and tyres are matched to the car, for most cars. There's a few cars we can't do, but like this matches a Land Cruiser. We've got one that we're working on at the moment that does FJ Cruisers, Rangers, Prados, you name it, we can match them. Yep. And that's just sort of a standard feature of our trailers.
Yep. Yeah, it makes the spares more usable.
That's right, the spare can go in the car and vice versa normally, so.
Very good.
Come around. You're welcome to come up inside and sit in there if you like.
That's comfy.
So the mattress is just like, we send you to 40 Winks and you pick your mattress.
Yeah, right.
So it's not a caravan mattress, it's genuinely just a bed mattress from home.
Yep. Queen bed mattress.
Full queen.
And you've got the Sirocco fans either side.
Yeah.
That's obviously for the full extended mode.
Yeah, the camp mode. We call this travel mode, and then the open is camp mode. So
yeah, you've got like a shelf on top of those drawers.
yeah, so those drawers, you just lift them up and you get to those drawers.
So, and then you've got reading lights in here as well.
Yeah.
And like up above as well.
It's big enough for here that like I'm 6'2" and I can sit up quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Like the lowest spot is right here, and the only time you're sitting here is when you're tying your shoes.
Yeah. And that's the thing, in terms of getting out, you can come to the edge here, you have a nice good base to put your shoes on.
Yeah.
And this takes all of about 2 minutes, doesn't it? To,
yeah.
And then back up, get out of bed, put your shoes on. And is it the top or bottom first?
Bottom first.
Yeah.
You give it a firm.
Make sure it's shut.
Make sure it's shut. That's it.
That's it.
And then these latches just like help support the door. Don't come in the other.
And then,
so this
looks like there could be more storage.
This is more storage. This is something that really I'm very proud of. You just touch that cable. Get stored on there yet. So this comes with like 2 dividers for each drawer as well. Right.
Heaps of storage, yeah. As well as all down the side.
It's one of the things I think that sets us apart from other manufacturers is how much storage we actually have. So obviously when we're in camp mode, this opens into the trailer.
Yep. So you can access these while it's in the camp mode as well.
So both that, like all of this part is the same on both trailers. So like the rake in there, all this storage is the same, the bed's the same, the kitchen is the same. So really that's more suited to a family, like kids inside, this is definitely more suited to like couples with no kids or kids outside this way. Leave that down today. Okay. Yeah. Coming around here like a shower outlet, this one has a 23 Zero drop down ensuite that we modified to sort of work with our trailer.
And they come standard with it?
No, that's an option. Yeah. There's a lot of things in this. Yeah, it's a standard option. Like we know how to build it. There's a lot of things that we can do custom. This is what we'll just call it a standard option.
Yeah, sure.
So, trailers come with coil suspension as standard. This one's got airbags, and it's got the Cruisemaster level 3 system. So it's got a compressor, tank, and then this control system here.
So you can level it up.
So you can level it at camp each day. And then like between the beginning of the trip when your trailer is really heavy and then the end of the trip where it's really light, you can keep it at the right height.
Yep.
So it definitely tows best to keep the right height.
So you've got those little markers in under there. So
Yeah, there's a little gauge under there which is just so you can eyeball it and get it like pretty close. So it doesn't have to be millimetre perfect to tow well. If it's within like 5 or 10 mil of the right height, like it's fun.
it'll tow nicely.
It'll tow really nice, yeah.
And the other plug there that's got the on and the off, that's like
So that's just for turning this on and off.
and this one?
Oh, that's the shower outlet, and so
Okay.
So you can like, if you're camping in the bush and there's nobody around, you don't even need to set the ensuite up, you just shower outside. But it's just a mixer tap, and you can like hotter, colder, and there's a little hole in the back of the ensuite that just like aligns with, so you're standing there and you can adjust it yourself.
Right, wow.
So, and then when you're in camp mode and we've got the larger zip-on ensuite, that aligns with that as well, so you're standing there, have a hot shower, step straight in the tent. So,
Very cool.
more storage in here, select the valve for your tanks, and so you can, like your main water system, you can draw from your main tank or your drinking water tank.
Yeah, okay.
It's designed so you keep the drinking water separate.
Yeah. So you can have one for drinking water and potentially you could draw from a river or something.
Or just put bore water in there, like if you're staying in Birdsville, like the bore water's no good, you don't want to drink it, but you're happy to shower in it.
Yeah.
Happy to wash your dishes, so you just keep topping up the trailer with that.
Yep.
Keep your 75 litres of drinking water very separate, so.
Perfect.
2 water inlets. Ours are like designed really well so that it will take most hoses at full whack. So there's none of this like filling it over an hour. You just get your garden hose, pull the plug off, poke it in there, and then just crank it. So
Nice.
Electric opening controls and table storage. And then this is just general storage, big enough for like a Webasto, Portaloo, anything like that. So
Yep.
can we pause for a sec?
Pause recording.
Front box. This is the sort of like an example of some of the stuff we like doing is when a customer has like a particular need, trying to like change the trailer over to suit him. So he's like really bad asthmatic, never ever has a campfire. So he's like, can we make a little cool little box there to put some stuff? They love kayaking and stuff, so they put all like life jackets and that sort of stuff in there. So yeah. And then another customer out there, he's got like a full electric trailer, so no gas, and so we're putting his outboard motor for his boat on the front. So
nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
So yeah, we're just saying here, storage for Portaloo or anything else. And the black tank there is...
That's the diesel tank for your, the Webasto heater that we put in there.
Right.
So it's like a heater and hot water. So it's powered by diesel, not gas.
Yep.
Being
So there's a heater for the inside of the...
Yeah. So you sit in there and it's like a cold day like today. So one of them out in the factory, like the boys are working in that and the heater's operating, so they just have it on. So it's like nice and warm in the trailer.
That's
So,
right.
I know, it's ridiculous.
So...
Being diesel,
Yeah.
it's heaps more efficient than a gas one.
Yeah, okay.
And then we can break the system up into little pieces. And so we can like have a bit of it here where there's like a tiny bit of space that you can't really use for storage, but we can put a part of the heater there.
Yes.
And we do that, and so we have like part here, part in that corner, part in the back corner. Yep. And it means that like this space is open. There's not, we haven't just put a heater in a box there.
Yeah.
So this is one of the ways that we get heaps of storage into a small trailer.
And if you fill that up with diesel, what's that, probably 20 litres?
11 litres.
11 litres? There you go, looks bigger than it is. How long would that run the heater
So
for?
like in winter, like now, where it's like a 12-degree day, 2 weeks, quite happily, like we're running the heater and hot water every day. In summer, like probably 3 months, I would say, like long enough that you forget to fill up the tank and then you run out.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
And that runs the hot water as well.
Yeah.
So if you were camping in the high country and it was a 4, 5, 6 day trip,
yeah,
that is going to be heaps for heating your hot water and running the heater in the
So I recommend that for a customer, if they top that up every time they fill up their car, they'll never ever run out. So, especially on a cold, wintry trip, say.
And you just fill up here?
Yeah, just fill up there, straight with the Bowser.
Yep.
And then so, like the other side, another drawer. Access that from inside. Yep.
So you've got both the shelf and a drawer inside, which is really cool.
The shelf is great because sometimes if the weather's really bad, you might sit on the bed and like plan what you're going to do the next day, or plan part of your trip. You can sit a glass of wine or something there. Even have like a plate of food there if the weather's really bad. So
very cool.
Our 2 front doors, they have like magnets on them to hold them open. Just like little touches.
Yeah.
So
they don't have to blow around and bang into things, and you're pulling the drawer out and the door's banging into the drawer and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, stuff that you're not going to see on.
That's exactly right. So this is the small toolbox at the front, 300 litres. The larger one is like there on the raker, that's 400 litres. Basically, this one you can put jerry cans on the outside, the larger one encloses that same space. Okay. So we would put a jerry can holder there, obviously, if it's not done in this trailer. Yep,
so jerry cans on the side, plus dual gas bottles.
Yeah. So just a 4 litre gas bottle, because you're only using it for your stove, 4 litres lasts for 8 years. You're not using it for hot water.
Yeah.
It lasts for 8 years.
Just keep a spare here, and that's the one you hook up.
Pretty well. You know you're halfway through your gas when you first bottle thing.
This is a really good way of doing it, because nobody tends to check the gas bottles, and there's nothing worse than getting set up on day one of the camping trip. You start cooking that night, you run out of gas.
Yeah.
Just swap the spare over, and then just remember to get a replacement next time you need one of those swap and goes.
And so like a lot of people will take the other gas bottle out to operate a Weber, but we actually put like that one's got a bayonet on it, so you can operate your Weber off with the same gas bottle at the same time.
Yeah, nice.
We've got like 2 drawbar options. This is the long one, the raker's got the short one. So this is suited to anything with a single swing out door, like a Pajero, Prado, FJ Cruiser, that sort of thing. Just gives you a bit more swinging room.
Yep, the back door. Customers just specify that at the time.
Yeah. But it bolts in and out. So if you have a short one and then you sell it to someone one day and they want the long one, we can swap it out.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to get in and out, but it's not designed to come out easily.
But yeah, you can do it. It's not welded in place.
It's definitely not welded in place.
You've got to pull out an angle grinder and modify it.
Yeah.
Looks like you've got awning walls and those sorts of things in there.
Yeah, so in here we've got ensuite and like there's a skirt to fix the gap between the ensuite, between the awning and the trailer.
Okay.
Just to sort of manage the water through that gap.
Again, something that a lot of people wouldn't bother with.
Yeah. You still might get a few drips that come through because it's still a tent and it's still raining and it's outside. But it does a very good job of handling that 99% of it. So,
very good. And what I'm really keen to see is the magic that you guys have engineered on this thing.
Opening it up.
Yeah,
we can open it up, that's no worries. First thing, release the tent.
So if you were setting this up from travel mode to camp mode, you pulled up, you set up, you would open this up, you'd put the tent down just like you're doing now.
Open it up, put the tent down, you'd level the trailer, put the legs down.
Yep.
You put them down so they like just take a tiny little bit of weight but not lifting the trailer. That down.
And that's just undo those Velcro straps. It's as simple as that.
They're designed with Velcro so that if you forget one day to undo them and go to open the trailer, the Velcro will like peel itself off. So,
as opposed to breaking something.
As opposed to breaking a clip or something like that, which you then got to get replaced just because you were forgetful one day.
Yep.
I'll take the off. then there's 4 clips.
It's on the side. And does this need to be folded back in the bottom door?
No, that's right like that. So all 3 sections of the door like nestle underneath together.
Yeah, right.
So all the openings are electric. The gas struts on the outside do most of the work.
Yeah, okay.
So if it ever fired, you can disconnect it and push it over by hand. It's a pretty quick process.
It is. And it's got the metal skids on the bottom there.
So in this mode, like for the camera, you can see this one's got a solar panel here. So that's when you like park on the side of the road. So the only time we've ever really had trouble with not being able to charge the battery is if you're like not driving but you're not camping, you're sightseeing somewhere. Yeah. Do that a few days in a row, the battery's not actually getting any charge because you're not driving, or you're not set up with solar. So we've like integrated it in the outside of the trailer as well.
So that's standard or standard option?
That's an option, yeah.
Yeah. And nice and protected, recessed well below those skid rails.
So it stops itself at the right spot.
So that just stops itself automatically, you don't have to...
You got to watch to make sure it's not going to hit the ground, obviously.
Yep.
But there's little switches in there that stop it at the right spot, yeah.
Perfect. And obviously here it's perfect.
So out of this, you can probably wind down a little bit. So you can have like a decent like size
It
slate.
doesn't have to be a perfect.
It doesn't have to be perfectly flat.
And obviously that's the quick way of doing it, but there's a hand tool I think I saw in the
There is one, yeah. You'll do it once and then you'll go by a drill. It's slow. So it might only take 5 minutes, but it's like 5 minutes at the wrong end of the day.
Yep.
So and then inside, it's a one-person job inside, so you can stick your head in, I'll stick the camera in. Sure. And I'll show you.
Oh yeah, so there's the frame just attached to the floor.
Yeah, so it's everything's all captive, so you don't have to go find anything. Then I just like step over it.
And they're just thumb screws.
They're just thumb screws.
Yep.
And then this is like, that's the hammock that we undid at the start.
Yes.
That was like holding up the tent like that before.
Yes.
So you just pull that down, quickly wrap that around there, and then it just goes up here.
And that becomes your brace bar for extending
That's right.
it. That's clever.
And then this other one does the other one.
Yeah, right.
So like, no finding poles, no wondering like which pole goes where.
And that's it. You've got one frame that you stand up, 2 extension bars that you extend and lock into place, and you're done.
After this, you'd normally walk around the trailer, make sure all the corners are all pulled down on the outside.
Yep. So
Water's not going to run in, all that sort of thing.
and these just sort of Velcro on.
Yeah, the Velcro on the inside here.
Yeah.
So come in. This is our newest feature. We call this the club lounge. This is actually a customer's idea. And so there's normally just this end of the doors as a step, and you have this other step down here.
Yes.
So this is the club lounge.
So then you've got a seat.
You got like a little seat inside.
Already
so like,
built in.
Imagine it's a really rainy night.
Yeah.
Windy, rainy, 5 degrees. Have a little table, one other chair, play a board game. You don't have to try and squeeze 2 chairs in here. So
Yep. You're
tying your shoes, it's heaps nicer. So
yeah, and you can eat inside. You can have the Webasto heater going.
yeah.
And there's just enough space here.
The beauty of the Webasto is like right now you're like, oh, I want the heater on, so you just go like that, wait 10 minutes and she's hot and it's running. So
Yep.
it's as simple as that.
So again, rather than just having one control panel, you've got control panels where people might actually want to be able to use them.
That's right.
Because you come inside or you get up in the morning and it's a bit cold. If you haven't had the heater running, you can turn it on.
Without even getting out of bed, yeah.
Yep.
Things like our inverter controls are inside intentionally, because then you can run an electric blanket quite happily off the trailer, and then you want to turn the inverter off before you go to bed. So
very, very groovy.
that's about it.
Yep. And then obviously pack up's just the reverse of what you just did.
Pack up's the reverse,
and yeah, you've still got access to those drawers.
Still got access to the drawers.
Whether you're in camp mode or
Travel mode. Yeah. So there's like little shelves here that when you're in travel mode are upside down.
Yep.
They're upside down and face inwards. Good for like just stuffing your clothes in for the next morning.
Yep.
So
Definitely cool.
any questions?
I think you've answered all the questions. It's very quick to set up. It's very quick to pack up. Total weight, obviously before you put all your stuff in it.
Between 13 and 1400 kilos, depending on options. Like
Yep.
you add a second water tank, it gets 25 kilos heavier.
Yep.
So
And so the aggregate trailer mass. So how much gear you can actually
yeah, so
add
the
to that?
total mass is like the ATM is 1900.
Yep.
We can go up to 2500 as an option.
If you needed to.
If you need to, but that's more suited to like say the Raker. If you put a boat on the top and a motor and you're carrying extra fuel, and it's very easy to add weight then.
Which you're not going to do with this. So
No.
you know, by the time you've got a couple of 100 kilos a year, you're under
Yep.
2 tonne
Yeah,
in a pretty compact unit.
yeah,
That's got a pretty good departure angle and is going to go most places your car's going to go.
yeah, exactly. So our trailers are designed to go anywhere that the car will go. So this will go across the Simpson Desert, through the Flinders Ranges. You're really just limited by the performance of your car.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool. And pricing, these start from
The Domino starts from 66,400, and then you add your options on from there. So that's
Yep.
where you then add on solar, lithium batteries, inverters,
Yep.
all that type of stuff. So we just, if customers are interested, then we just share that price list with them, and they can choose their own pricing,
Yep.
or they choose their own options and build their own price from there. So
from 66 grand, you're getting a hybrid pod camper that's
Yeah.
designed and built in Australia with
Yeah.
Australian materials. You know, with service and support to look after it
Yeah.
locally, and it's really like nothing else that's on the market.
yeah, it is very unique. So
Which, you know, I think it's excellent value for what it offers. You've
Yeah.
got a lot of space in here. You've got a very, very comfortable sleeping area that, you know, you don't have to set up the whole camper to use
Yeah.
it. So, you know, again, if you were doing a longer trip and you were traveling somewhere and it was 2 days to get there and you just wanted a quick overnighter
Yeah.
on the way there, you just access it via travel mode, and you can close it from the inside when it's in travel mode
that's
as well.
exactly right.
So you can get in, you can get out, and then you can keep going with minimal setup.
I love the fact that we use just like a genuine bed mattress, and so customers go to 40 Winks and pick their mattress. And so if you're like a firm mattress person, or you're like a foam mattress, like a really soft foam mattress person, memory foam mattress, then you can get whatever you like and stick it in there. It's really your heart's desire.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, I think a lot of us that would be looking at something like this for an option. A big part of it is you want a good night's sleep,
Yeah.
and the mattress is, you know, a big part of that as well, isn't it?
I think if you're spending this sort of money, you should sleep as well as you do at home.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. So integrated solar up on the roof of the tent that folds up and opens with the tent. So no extra mucking around, plugging in a solar blanket if you're parking up for a few days or anything like that. It's just done.
yeah.
Very cool.
It's really just the opposite of the setup.
Yeah, just obviously the reverse, you take the 2 spreader arms down, put them in place, fold it back down to 4, lock it in, and
That's it, light off. Not coming out. Come on. And close it.
So you got controls both sides.
Nice. So we'll just stop and do these feet.
So you can lift them up part way so they're nice and accessible.
Or climb on the roof to do it later.
Yep.
So you can see we like shove it about halfway, and then there's like a bolt that's tucking, and now there's just like the little bits on the edge.
It's like any hard shell rooftop tent.
Yeah.
Similarly, you just, as you're closing it, tuck it in.
At the end of the day, it's like a canvas product, so you have to tuck a few little pieces.
Taste the tape, the middle side takes just to make sure it's tucked in right.
Yeah, because if it's sticking out, like it will leak. So. Last thing, tucking this back in to that hammock that we started off with.
Yep. Just fold it over. And it's kind of half already done, isn't it?
It's kind of half already done. Sort of wants to sit there. So if you're going to go to another campsite and set the tunnel straight up, you wouldn't even bother doing this.
No,
just let it hang down.
You just leave it, yeah.
Drive to the next site, set back up again.
It's really just if you might use it in travel mode.
That's exactly right, yeah. And now we're done. So you can close it back up and
Away you
the
go.
legs still, but yeah, away you go.
And the good thing is too, like on 6.1, that's folded out and you can walk under it, and you've got no risk of hitting your head on it.
Yeah.
Unlike some rehatches and some full rolls.
Exactly right.
So, you can clearly put some thought into it. Very neat. Hey everyone, so clearly I'm not on the trip anymore. This is just the summary at the end of the Offline Campers video for the Domino. I thought I'd record this back here in the office where I'm doing the editing after the trip because it was a little bit noisy there being in their factory. So first of all, though, I really want to give a huge shout out to Sam from Offline Campers. He didn't know we were coming. We literally just looked up their address, rocked up at their factory. We didn't even know it was their factory. We thought it was their showroom. And we said, hey, Sam, we're here. I'm Jason from Off the Beaten Path. we're a really small YouTube channel. Can we do a video about your Domino camper because it looks really cool? And he made time for us to go through. As you saw, the video is a good length, so he's made a lot of time for us to actually show us all the features of this. So really appreciate that. Shout out to Sam for doing that completely off the cuff. As you can see, he's incredibly passionate about the product. Him and his family use these products. They've built and developed them over time for them to use, which is really cool. The Raker that you saw in the background, which is their rear fold solid floor camper, that's his personal one that him and his family use. They still use it as a display unit. It's like 2 or 3 years old. The stuff's really well built. So just because the audio wasn't great there, I've got to get a mic, and look, it was a factory environment. I wanted to cover off a couple of things. So the things to me that really stood out about the Domino is you've got 2 clear ways of using it. You've got the travel mode, which is literally a 30-second open the back, climb in, shut the door, you're done. And you've got the camp mode, which gives you an enclosed living space as well as a queen-size bed with a mattress of your choosing. It's got ducted heating. It's got the Webasto diesel-powered heating unit. It's got integrated hot water, the awning and the kitchen, and probably the big thing for me is, I think you saw there in that walkthrough with Sam, they've put a lot of R&D and time and thought into the storage spaces, and they've created really usable, accessible storage spaces like those 2 big drawers, one that sits above the kitchen and the one on the other side. They're accessible through removable panels in the bed head above the mattress. So you could put things that you might, reading materials or whatever else, or you can put your laptop in there and you can access it during the day, and then at night you can access it as well. The fact that there's redundant switching in a lot of different places, so whether that's for light switches or the motorized action to fold up and unfold the rear of the camper. The fact they've got the 2 water taps included as well. Little things like the storage box at the front had the rail around the top of it, clearly designed for wood to be put on there for your campfire. Again, it shows that these are really practical, well thought out, usable campers. They do start pretty low weight, as you saw on the screen there through the video. They start at about 1,200, do get a little bit heavier. So look, they're not an ultra lightweight pod camper, but in terms of a van, they're very lightweight for what they offer. To me, the appeal here is the off-road capability, so the departure angles, the suspension system that's included with these things, the fact that you've got heating and cooling is a really big plus as well. The space and the versatility, the size of the kitchen and the amount of the storage, and things like your portaloos, they're big, square, boxy things. A lot of campers don't have an ideal space to store those. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'll put links to Offline Campers website and everything, because if you've got any really specific product inquiries, hit up Sam and the guys from Offline Campers. I'm not a product expert. This was just a product that I was interested in. We found ourselves in Adelaide. If you've been following the channel, you know about the dramas we had with the Pajero, and we ended up in Adelaide getting an alternator replaced and all kinds of things. So we took the opportunity while we were there to film this video, and that's how this has come about. Enough from me, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing some comments down below, and see you in the next video. Thanks, as always, for watching.